3 full years, 41 full months, 1,265 full days, 1,822,068 minutes, 109,324,081 seconds. That is the amount of time it has been since the last World Cup game in Qatar 2022. We are barely a week away from the start of the 2026 World Cup in the US, Mexico, and Canada. And this one is different because for the first time ever, we're not looking at 32 teams fighting it out, we're looking at 48. FIFA expanded the field, which means more nations, more stories, more upsets, and yes, more games. We've gone from 64 matches at previous World Cups all the way up to 104. But with 12 groups and 48 teams, how do we actually figure out which groups are the walk in the park and which ones are absolute nightmares? Is it just about sticking the best teams together and calling it a day? Not quite. We're looking at world rankings, current form, squad depth, tournament experience, and that one factor nobody likes to talk about, but everyone knows matters: pressure. Because some of these teams are carrying the weight of entire nations on their backs. So, with all of that in mind, let's get into it. Every group, ranked from easiest to hardest. Starting out with Group A, and what a group this is. We've got the hosts Mexico, South Africa, South Korea, and Czechia. Mexico are playing on home soil in front of tens of thousands of their own fans. The atmosphere in Mexico City is going to be absolutely electric. South Africa are the feel-good story of the group, a nation that hosted the World Cup back in 2010 and will have the crowd right behind them. South Korea brings serious European pedigree. Players based at top clubs across the continent, organized, disciplined, and dangerous on the break. And Czechia, don't sleep on them. A well-drilled European side who are incredibly hard to beat and will frustrate anyone they come up against. 4 teams. No easy game in sight. This group is chaos. And we haven't even kicked a ball yet. Moving on to Group B, and this one is fascinating. We've got the hosts Canada, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Qatar, and Switzerland. Canada are the second host nation in this group, and they arrive with genuine momentum. David Buchanan, this is not a Canada side you can take lightly anymore. They've got pace, they've got hunger, and they've got a home crowd willing them on every step of the way. Bosnia and Herzegovina are a physical, well organized side with quality going forward. They'll be dangerous, and nobody in this group will be looking forward to facing them. Qatar are the defending hosts from 2022, but let's be honest, they struggled badly on that stage and will need to show massive improvement to make any kind of impact here. And then there's Switzerland. Boring to watch, brilliant to be. They are one of the most consistent, most stubborn, hardest to break down sides in international football. And they will absolutely be in the conversation for qualifying from this group. Canada and Switzerland will both feel like this group is theirs to take. Bosnia will have other ideas. Should be a really entertaining group to follow. Continuing with Group C, and this is where things start to get really interesting: Brazil, Morocco, Haiti, and Scotland. Brazil are Brazil, the most decorated nation in World Cup history. The samba football, the pressure, the expectation, they arrive at every tournament as one of the favorites, and 2026 is no different. Morocco are the wild card that makes this group genuinely scary. They reached the semifinals at Qatar 2022, became the first African nation to ever do so, and they did it with one of the most organized, defensively disciplined setups in world football. Don't expect them to just roll over for anyone, not even Brazil. Haiti are the underdogs of the group, a nation just happy to be here and representing the Caribbean on the biggest stage in football. And Scotland, what a moment for them. A first World Cup since 1998. The Tartan Army will be absolutely bouncing, but they've landed in one of the toughest groups in the tournament, and they'll need to be at their absolute best just to take a point. Brazil versus Morocco is the standout fixture of this group, and honestly, it could be one of the best games of the entire tournament. Circle that one in your calendar now. Next up is Group D, the third and final host nation group: the USA, Paraguay, Australia, and Turkey. The United States are the third co host, and they will have the loudest, most passionate home support of any team at this tournament. Playing in front of sold out stadiums across their own country, the pressure is enormous, but so is the opportunity. Paraguay are a side that never knows when they're beaten. Scrappy, physical, tactically smart. They are exactly the kind of team that makes your life miserable, and they will not be coming to this tournament just to make up the numbers. Australia have quietly become one of the more exciting sides in international football over the last few years. They reached the quarter finals at Qatar 2022, and they have the belief and the squad to cause problems again here. And Turkey are perhaps the most technically gifted side in this group, with real quality in attack and the ability to beat anyone on their day. They are a genuine threat that the USA cannot afford to overlook. This is a group where every point matters and nothing is guaranteed. The USA will back themselves at home, but this is far from a straightforward path to the knockouts. Shifting over to Group E now, and if you're Germany, you are absolutely delighted with this draw. Germany, Curacao, Ivory Coast, and Ecuador. Germany are one of the heavyweights of world football, and in this group, they look every bit the part. 4 World Cup titles. A squad packed with Bundesliga and European talent. They should be booking their spot in the round of 32 without too many sleepless nights. Curacao are making their World Cup debut. A historic achievement for the small Caribbean island nation and a moment their fans will never forget. But in terms of competition, they are the clear underdogs of this group. The Ivory Coast bring genuine African quality to the table, physical, quick, dangerous in attack, and they will be targeting second place as very much achievable. Ecuador are the most complete side in the group outside of Germany, well organized, hardworking, and with enough quality to make things uncomfortable for anyone on a good day. Germany should top this group comfortably, but the race for second place between the Ivory Coast and Ecuador is one worth keeping an eye on. That could go right down to the wire. Heading into Group F now. And this one is more dangerous than it looks on the surface. Netherlands, Japan, Sweden, and Tunisia. The Netherlands arrive as one of Europe's strongest sides. Van Dijk at the back, Gakpo going forward, a well-balanced squad with genuine tournament pedigree. They will be expecting to top this group, and anything less would be a major disappointment. Japan are the team in this group that every other side will be quietly dreading. Do not underestimate them. These are the same Japan that knocked out Germany and Spain in the same group stage at Qatar 2022. They are organized, disciplined, relentless, and they have absolutely no fear of the big occasion. Sweden are a solid, experienced European side who will be tough to break down and will fancy their chances of nicking second place. They have the quality to compete with anyone in this group on their day, and Tunisia are no pushovers either. A defensively solid African side who will make life difficult and will be desperate to prove themselves on the world stage. The Netherlands will back themselves to go through. But Japan are the real wild card here. If you're sleeping on them, you haven't been paying attention. Carrying on with Group G, Belgium, Egypt, Iran, and New Zealand. Belgium are the headline act here, and despite their golden generation slowly fading, they still have more than enough quality to dominate this group. De Bruyne, Lukaku, a squad full of Premier League and European experience. They will be fully expecting to qualify, and anything else would be a shock. Egypt bring one of the most recognizable names in world football with them in Mohamed Salah, and where Salah goes, goals and moments of brilliance tend to follow. He alone makes Egypt a dangerous proposition, and they will be targeting second place as very much within reach. Iran are a disciplined, well-drilled side who are incredibly hard to break down. They won't wow you with attacking football, but they will frustrate you, sit deep, and make you work for every single chance. And New Zealand are honestly just happy to be here. Oh, a wonderful achievement for football in that part of the world, but realistically, they will be fighting hard just to take a point from this group. Belgium should come through this one relatively comfortably, but Egypt, with Salah in their ranks, means there's always the possibility of something special happening. Keep an eye on that Egypt versus Belgium fixture. Moving along to Group H, and this is where the difficulty really starts to ramp up. Spain, Cape Verde, Saudi Arabia, and Uruguay. Spain are quite simply one of the best teams in the world right now, the defending European champions, playing some of the most fluid, dominant, possession based football you will see at this tournament. They will be fully expected to top this group and go deep into the knockout rounds. Cape Verde are making their World Cup debut, and what a moment it is for them. A tiny island nation punching way above their weight just by being here. But they will be massive underdogs against the caliber of opposition in this group. Saudi Arabia are not to be completely dismissed. This is the same nation that shocked Argentina at Qatar 2022 in one of the greatest upsets in World Cup history, and they will be hoping to conjure something similar again. And then there is Uruguay, and this is where it gets really interesting. Nunes, Valverde, Bentancur, Uruguay have a genuinely world-class squad, and they fear absolutely nobody. They are physical, they are experienced, they are tactically ruthless, and they will make Spain work extremely hard for top spot. Spain should top this group, but the battle for second place between Uruguay and Saudi Arabia is far more unpredictable than most people are giving it credit for. Pushing on to Group I now, and on paper this looks like a fairly comfortable group for one team in particular: France, Senegal, Iraq, and Norway. France are one of the outright favorites to lift the trophy on the 19th of July, and this group should give them the perfect platform to build momentum going into the knockouts. World-class players across every single position, one of the deepest squads at the entire tournament. They will be expected to top this group with games to spare. Senegal are the African champions, and they are nobody's idea of an easy game. Physical, organized, with genuine quality throughout the squad, they will be fully targeting second place, and they have more than enough to get there. Iraq are the underdogs of this group, a nation that will be soaking in every single moment of their World Cup experience, but realistically, they face an enormous challenge just to compete against the level of opposition in this group. And Norway? Well, Norway have Erling Haaland, and when you have the best striker on the planet in your squad, you are never truly out of any game. Haaland alone makes Norway dangerous, and France and Senegal will both know they cannot afford to switch off for a single second when they face him. France should cruise through, but the Senegal versus Norway clash for second place is one of the most intriguing matchups of the entire group stage. Rounding the corner now with Group J, the reigning world champions enter the building: Argentina, Algeria, Austria, and Jordan. Argentina are the defending champions, and they arrive at this tournament with that unmistakable aura that only world champions carry. A squad built around some of the finest players in club football, a manager who knows exactly how to set up a tournament winning side, and the burning desire to prove that Qatar 2022 was no fluke. They will be expecting to walk out of this group without too many problems. Algeria are the most dangerous of the remaining three sides. A well organized African nation with genuine quality going forward and the belief that on the right day they can cause an upset. They will make Argentina work and should be firmly in the conversation for second place. Austria have quietly become one of the more improved European sides over the last couple of years. Well drilled, tactically intelligent, and with enough quality to compete at this level, they will not be rolling over for anyone in this group. And Jordan are making their historic first ever World Cup appearance, a monumental achievement for football in that region and a moment their nation will cherish forever, but they face an enormous mountain to climb against this level of opposition. Argentina should top this group, but do not be surprised if Algeria make things very interesting indeed. Almost there now, penultimate group. Group K: Portugal, Democratic Republic of the Congo, Uzbekistan, and Colombia. Portugal arrive with one of the most talented squads they have assembled in years. And yes, before you ask, Ronaldo is there. Love him or hate him, he has the ability to change a game in a single moment, and Portugal will be leaning heavily on the quality they possess throughout every line of their squad to make a serious run at this tournament. This group on paper looks very manageable for them. DR Congo are representing Central Africa, and they bring real athleticism and energy to the group. They are not a side without quality, and they will be fighting hard to make their mark on the tournament. Uzbekistan are the real wildcard of this group, making their World Cup debut and representing a nation where football is growing rapidly. They will be an unknown quantity for every side they face, and sometimes that unpredictability can be a weapon in itself. And Colombia are the team that Portugal will be keeping a very close eye on, technically gifted, tactically smart, with some exciting young talent emerging through their ranks. They are more than capable of qualifying from this group and will fancy their chances of doing exactly that. Portugal should top this comfortably, but Colombia versus DR Congo for second place could be a really entertaining contest. And finally, rounding off the groups with Group L, the last piece of the puzzle: England, Croatia, Ghana, and Panama. England arrive with a squad full of Premier League talent and the familiar burden of expectation that follows this nation to every single tournament. They will be amongst the favorites to top this group, and on paper it looks very manageable. But if there is one team in world football with a gift for making easy situations unnecessarily complicated, it is England. Croatia are a side that have punched well above their weight for the better part of a decade now. Modric is aging but still influential, and this is a group of players with serious tournament experience who will not be intimidated by anyone. Ghana are an exciting, attack-minded African side with some real individual quality. They will be dangerous on the counter-attack and will be targeting a famous upset against one of the bigger names in this group. And Panama are making just their second ever World Cup appearance. A proud moment for Central American football, but they face an enormous task against this level of opposition and will need everything to go their way just to take points. England should qualify from this group, and if they don't, It'll be one of the biggest stories of the entire tournament. No pressure then. So, those were all 12 groups. Every team, every challenge, every potential upset laid out in front of us. But now we get to the most important question of the day. Which group is actually the easiest? And here is where it gets a little complicated. Because easiest for who exactly? Easiest is completely relative, depending on which shirt you are wearing. A German fan right now is sitting at home feeling very relaxed, very comfortable, very confident about their chances of cruising through the group stage. Meanwhile, a Scottish fan in their first World Cup since 1998 is absolutely sweating bullets after landing alongside Brazil and Morocco. Same tournament, completely different reality. So, when we talk about the easiest and hardest groups, we need a consistent way of measuring it. We are looking at this from a neutral perspective, taking into account the overall quality of all four teams in each group, the depth of each squad, their FIFA World Rankings, their recent form heading into the tournament, and just how evenly matched the teams are against one another. Because the most dangerous group is not always the one with the biggest single name in it. Sometimes the most brutal group is the one where every team is so evenly matched that nobody can breathe easy for a single second. Four teams all believing they can go through, that is where the real chaos lives. So, with all of that in mind, let us get into the ranking. Kicking off with our three easiest groups, and honestly, these ones were not very difficult to place. Coming in at number 12 and the easiest group in the entire tournament, Group E, Germany, Curacao, Cote d'Ivoire, and Ecuador. Germany are a world-class side who have drawn two nations, with very little World Cup experience between them, and an Ecuador side that, whilst decent, simply do not have the firepower to trouble them. If Germany do not top this group, it will be the story of the tournament. At number 11, we have Group K, Portugal, DR Congo, Uzbekistan, and Colombia. Two debutants, one developing African nation and Colombia, who are the only real threat to Portugal here, manageable from top to bottom, and Portugal should handle this with a degree of comfort. And rounding off our top three easiest at number 10, Group J, Argentina, Algeria, Austria, and Jordan. The reigning world champions got a very kind draw. Jordan are making their first ever World Cup appearance, which is a wonderful story, but Argentina alongside Algeria and Austria is very much a group they should be navigating without too many scares. Now we move into groups that are still relatively comfortable for the top side, but where the race for second place starts to get genuinely interesting. At number 9, Group I, France, Senegal, Norway, and Iraq. France should cruise through, but Senegal are African champions, and Norway have Holland. The fight for second in this group is far more competitive than people are giving it credit for. Number 8, Group L, England, Croatia, Ghana, and Panama. England are favorites to top this group and should do so. But Croatia have tournament experience, Ghana are dangerous on the counter, and knowing England, nothing is ever truly straightforward. And at number 7, Group G, Belgium, Egypt, Iran, and New Zealand. Belgium should qualify comfortably, but Egypt have Salah, and a player of that quality in any group changes the dynamic completely. Never fully relax when Salah is on the pitch. Right, this is where the groups start getting genuinely spicy. These are the groups where even the strongest side cannot afford a single moment of complacency. At number 6, Group B, Canada, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Qatar and Switzerland. Host nations, one of the most stubborn sides in international football in Switzerland, and a Bosnia side that will cause problems for anyone. Canada and Switzerland will both believe this group is theirs, and that tension alone makes it fascinating. Number 5, Group F, Netherlands, Japan, Tunisia, and Sweden. Japan are the danger here, and anyone who watched Qatar 2022 knows exactly why. The Netherlands are strong, but this is not a free ride, and the Japan versus Sweden clash for second place could be absolutely electric. And at number 4, Group H, Spain, Cabo Verde, Saudi Arabia, and Uruguay. Spain are favorites to top this, but Uruguay are a world-class side who fear nobody. Nunes, Valverde, Bentancur, that is not a back three you want to be defending against when it matters most. This group has genuine tension from top to bottom. Now, before we get into these final three groups, I want to say something. Part of me does not know whether we should be dreading these groups or pulling up a chair, getting the popcorn out, and absolutely loving every second of the pressure cooker football that is coming our way. Because these groups are going to produce some of the most intense, nerve-shredding, unmissable football of the entire tournament. So let us get into it. At number 3, Group D, USA, Paraguay, Australia, and Turkey. The host nation in a group where every single point is contested. Paraguay scrap for everything, Australia have genuine tournament belief after Qatar 2022, and Turkey have the individual quality to hurt anyone. The USA will be backed by enormous home support, but they will need every bit of it. At number 2, Group C, Brazil, Morocco, Haiti, and Scotland. And the reason this sits so high is simple. Brazil versus Morocco, the most decorated nation in World Cup history against the side that rewrote the history books at Qatar 2022. That single fixture alone could be a tournament-defining moment, and the winner of that game could go very deep into this World Cup. Haiti and Scotland will be fighting with everything they have, but make no mistake, this group is built around that one blockbuster clash. And at number 1, the hardest group in the entire tournament, Group A, Mexico, South Africa, South Korea, and Czechia. No single superstar name jumps off the page, no obvious favorite that makes everyone else irrelevant. And that is precisely the point. Mexico are playing on home soil in front of an atmosphere that will be unlike anything else at this tournament. South Korea brings serious European quality. South Africa carry the emotion of a nation. Czechia will grind out every single point available to them. This is 4 teams so evenly matched, so desperate, so determined that every game in this group feels like a final. That is the group of death, and it starts right at the top of the draw. So there we have it. Every single group at the 2026 World Cup ranked from easiest to hardest. Group E at the bottom, Germany living their best life. Group A at the top, absolute carnage from day one. Do you agree with the list? Do you think we got something completely wrong? Maybe you think Brazil and Morocco should be sitting even higher? Or perhaps you think England fans have nothing to worry about? Drop your opinions in the comments below because we genuinely want to hear them, and these kinds of debates are what football is all about. More videos are coming throughout the week as the World Cup gets underway, so if you are not subscribed yet, now is a very good time to do that. We will be covering the tournament every step of the way, and if you made it all the way to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. From everyone here at the 6 Yard Line, we appreciate every single one of you. See you in the next one.